everybody, welcome to Olympic Minds Leadership Beyond Limits. I'm your host, Sherry Winn. This is a podcast for leaders. It's for the leader of leaders, the visionary of visionaries. It's for those leaders who want to move beyond success into significance and from beyond mediocrity into mastery. This is not theory. It is grit tested, time proven, and results driven. And I say that because I have experts on my show. So as I mentioned, I'm Sherry Winn, two-time Olympian, national championship basketball coach, award-winning speaker and author. I have 5 books on leadership, and I'm CEO of the Winning Leadership Company. My guest today is David Coleman. Folks, I don't remember when I met David. It was several years ago, but this still holds true today. He's the best speaker I've ever seen on stage. He's 14 times College Speaker of the Year and one time named Entertainer Speaker of the Year. As a speaker, Entertainer of the Year, you got to think about that against musicians, comedians, magicians, entertainer. And I cannot say enough good things about this guy. He taught me how to speak. He's still a good friend of mine. And so I'm going to let David tell you a little bit more about himself. So hi, David. You can just see, I'm so happy to have you.
I'm geeked. That $100 I sent you in the mail sure paid off with my introduction. Thank you so very much. And Sherry, it's just so nice. Selfishly, I said yes to this because I wanted to see you. Okay, I knew we'd be on the same screen for 40 minutes or so, but it's so nice to see you. And you were one of my first speaker coaching clients, and to see where you have come from us talking about your Olympic days and what happened and how you weathered the storm and how you transitioned from having it be a tragic situation to a triumphant situation is the reason that you are one of the very few, and I mean very few, speakers in America that if I can't go do an appearance, I will tell them to call you. And that might not sound like high praise, but it is, because we both know this. Certain speakers market themselves well, they talk a great game, but can they command the attention, positive engagement with an audience for an hour and 15? Yesterday, my show was an hour and a half at the University of Akron. Not easy to do. And so I'm incredibly happy for you and proud of how hard you have worked to gain the mastery that you're now sharing with the world. I think it's remarkable.
Well, thank you. So I want to talk about, because I think there's a lot of leaders who really need to learn to speak better. And you're the champion of champions in this. So if you were talking to a leader and you're saying to them, hey, if you want to do well on stage, these are the 1, 2, or 3 things that you need to learn to master, what would you tell them, David?
Number one, the more someone speaks, the less they know about what they're talking about. If they can't use, it's just the truth. Did you ever go to a movie and you're sitting watching a trailer come up and they've basically shown you the entire movie? You're like, I have to go. I just saw the whole movie. It's called thorough brevity. And I believe we worked on this too. When you first started speaking, the more I'm working on it with a client right now. People who have to keep explaining, over-explaining, at the end of a sentence, they'll say, do you know what I mean? Do you understand what I said? If they have to, that's called, basically they're not sure they got the point across. And that's not showing great confidence on stage. But the more someone talks, the more they keep over-explaining, the less they probably knew about it because they're rehashing the things they actually know about it. So how to become a better speaker? Number one, talk about something you know about and something you love, so that it comes from your heart, not from a script, number one. Number two, if you're given an hour, drop the mic at 55 minutes. If they want to bring you back for the last 5 because they don't want you to leave, that's fabulous. People will hit a crescendo moment. You know this, Sherry. People will hit a crescendo moment in a talk, but I haven't covered this, or this. The audience doesn't give a rat's patootie if you've covered this, and this. If you've crushed them, they're only going to take 3 things out of what you talk about. This is what speakers don't get. I think it's what business executives don't get. Running a meeting. People will take 3 things, maybe, out of an entire program. So number one, don't over-explain. Number 2, they're going to take about 3 things. And number 3, the end of your show, the end of your talk should be the beginning of your interaction with them. Okay, you don't just go to a hotel, get in a car, fly away and say bye-bye. And I know that you're like this. But a couple months ago, I spoke at Purdue University. I'm very blessed. They do something called Boiler Gold Rush. It's a week-long orientation leadership program with all their new students. There was me and 12,000 students in the horseshoe end of their football stadium. Within 48 hours, I had 2,100 email from that audience. Why? Because they knew they had gained trust in me. We had built a relationship, and they knew if they wrote me, they'd get honest feedback.
So let's talk about like the trust factor. And I think this is, I saw you, and first thing I did was notes. And I was like, what did you say? What did you do? What did you? But it was like almost the minute you get in a room, you create trust. So how do you create trust? And I mean, you do it in such a fashion, so quick, and then you just keep getting the trust throughout, the entire time you're speaking. And I know people would die, like leaders would die to know, how do I walk into a room and create the trust? What would you tell them about that?
It's ironic. It's really ironic you're asking me this question. In my relationship talks, no matter whether I'm talking to business, et cetera, doesn't matter. There's something I've created called the ABCs of initial interest. And I realized, and I'm going to say, from the moment I walk into a room and begin engaging people, I think I'm practicing those. And really quickly, it's an A, B, C, D, and an E. And the A is attraction. Is there mutual attraction between people? And I'm not talking romantic. I'm talking, look how much fun this podcast is. The people who watch your podcast and listen to it, if they don't find this attractive as a concept, they're not gonna engage. They're gonna watch something else. The B stands for believability. The words, are they sincere, genuine? Do you believe what's coming out of their mouth, or do you think they're trying to top whatever you say? They're being disingenuous, those types of things. You could pick up on that quickly. The C is chemistry. And that's every type of attraction between two people except physical. Are you enjoying their presence? Did they put a smile on your face? Did they make you go, wait, I'd like to know more? The D stands for desire, the desire to get to know them better, the desire to know more about what they're talking about. And the E is huge, energy. When we come in contact with another person, one of three things happen. Our energy spikes. When we come together, our energy spikes. We almost cause forest fires. Okay, it's what happens when mutual energy and magical things meet, and we both want magic for the world. The other part of that, there's time and energy vampires. That you're in their presence and you can't get those minutes of your life back.
Yeah.
Nothing happens to your energy. So let's say someone meets you, Sherry, and the next day they're thinking about it, they're going to go, Am I attracted to that person? Would I want to spend more time with her and learn? Absolutely. Do I believe her? You're one of the straightest shooters. That's why you and I get along so well. We straight shoot. The chemistry of wanting to get to know you better, the desire, the D, the getting desire, and then my energy. Are you kidding? I'm here at my sister's house, and I try to help her whenever I come in from out of town. I'm going to do twice as much for her today because we're doing this podcast. Why? Because you motivate and energize by your presence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it because I think so many people don't know how to get trust. And so they're pushing to get trust. They're pushing to get respect. And when you push, then somebody goes, like, no. And so just being able to have those few things that are easy to write down, easy to remember, easy to execute, makes it a lot better for you as a leader to walk into any room.
You can't buy trust. You can buy appreciation. You can buy hello. Can we be friends? You can't buy trust. Just because you're able to provide me with something doesn't mean that I trust you. Right.
So one of the things that you do so well, and we were just talking about this before we started, is you had to call out a couple of people. And I said to you, you always do it in a way that is respectful. You always do it in a way that the person doesn't feel embarrassed or ashamed or whatever. So what are the keys to that? Because I know a lot of times, even a leader, I don't care what leader you are, you walk in and people are on their phones, people are not paying attention, they're talking when you're talking. I mean, those kind of things that disrupt a meeting.
Sure.
So what are some keys around that, David? Because I know that people would probably give like their left eye to learn that. Well, maybe not their left eye.
Number one, you never attack a person's character while disagreeing with them or bringing something up. If I don't like something someone said or I disagree, I don't attack their character. You jerk, you don't attack their character. You stick to the facts. Facts can't be refuted. I'll give you an example as a quote dating doctor. People will say, I'll see horrible behaviors and attitudes in a relationship. One person is clearly toxic to the other, and they've created a toxic relationship. And I will try to tell the one person what's happening because they've asked for my guidance. I never say, I don't like your boyfriend. I don't like your girlfriend. I don't like your spouse. I don't like your, because they'll go, oh, but you don't understand them. You're just jealous that you don't have them and you don't understand them. Yeah, you're right. I'm jealous. So what do you have to do? You have to stick to the facts because facts can't be refuted. Here are facts that can't be refuted. You're one of the hardest working people I've ever known. You have a podcast on what you've lived every day. You have you have a gold medal Olympic mindset. You don't just have a mindset. Because some people are thrilled to get to the Olympics, not you. You have a gold medal winning mindset. That's different. So when you're giving feedback to someone, when you're disagreeing with someone, when you're trying to lead them, but they don't necessarily want to go the right direction, stick to the facts. Facts can't be refuted. Emotions can be, because it can be seen as control or jealousy, etc.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's
So stick
a
to the
big one
facts.
for me. That's a big one for me.
Yeah. You've done, I don't know how many leadership, like retreats, workshops, talks you've done over.
I was talking to a couple of my agents the other day. I've done around 5,200 appearances. I've been to 3,000 college campuses, community colleges, high schools, those types of things. And I've probably done 750 would be leadership oriented, 4,000 would be relationship oriented, and others would be, I've become pretty much a master team building leader. If a group or an organization or a company, I just did this. This was really cool. I spoke at Black Hills State University in, I believe, South Dakota. Dakotas get to me. I don't know where I'm at.
They get to me too. I know. They're just right there. They're together.
They're just right there. I was in one of the...
They're one on top's north and one on the bottom
right
south.
By Sturgis. It's gorgeous. Yeah. And the athletic director brought me in. He said, I want you to do a leadership. I did 30 minutes of my leadership talk, which is called Leave No Doubt. And then I did an hour team building with all of the sports. The athletic director walked up, just stared at me, shook my hand. I had the rodeo team partnering with the women's basketball team. The men's football team was excited to go see the women's volleyball. Within an hour to an hour and 15 minutes, that room of athletes that didn't want to be in the room and could have cared about any other sport were now talking about how to attend and support each other's events. In my heart and mind, outside of talking to wounded warriors at the National Naval Medical Center in Bethesda, Maryland, it's one of my favorite shows of my career.
Wow. So when you said the athletes didn't want to be there, I'm like, no, they didn't. Because they're like, I have to spend this stupid thing. Like athletes, I know I was a college basketball coach for 23 years. I was, an Olympic athlete twice. And so I know, like, you're making us attend this dumb thing and we have to go sit in here. We could be practicing.
They'd already been there for an hour and a half listening to the coaches and the athletic director. Oh. They fed them pizza. Then they had another hour and a half with me. If looks could kill, I was dead. Machine guns. 500 machine gun lasers looking through me on the.
So how did you get those people, right? I mean, you obviously, I know that you're a master. I've watched you so many times. You know how to engage people. You know how to break through that I'm not going to play kind of thing. You know how to break through that.
Sure.
But when you were doing the team building, what's the first thing that you did to get them willing to do something? Like, what was the first activity or the first thing you did? Because look, David, I've been to so many things and people are like, we're going to do an activity before you speak. I'm like, okay. And then they do something where it only engages two people. I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, they'll pull two people out of the audience and have them engage and the rest watch.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes. And I'm like, I'm mind boggling. I'm like, this is not team building. You've got, I was at an event, it was a health, I'm not going to tell you the name of this health company does that. And they had this big ball. And so the idea, and they did this for like 25 minutes, 25 brutal minutes where somebody hit the ball to somebody else.
25 minutes?
Yeah, 25 minutes they did this. They played this game for 25 minutes and they hit the ball to somebody.
I'm in physical pain hearing you say this. Okay.
The people were, the ball would come to them, people like, they were ducking. They didn't want to play. It's like, oh, hello. So anyway, she'll tell me you got this room full of people who don't want to be there. So boom. First thing you do to get them engaged or an activity that you did or whatever it is, so that people have an idea because they just don't know. They don't have an idea.
There's two things I did. I walked to the athletic director, introduced me. Actually, someone else. He had one of his staff do it, which I thought was a classy move on his part. I walked up to the podium, and I have 500 athletes sitting in the stands of a gymnasium. You know this, Sherry. There's no worse place to speak than a gymnasium. There's distractions everywhere, and no one goes to a gymnasium to hear something. They go to watch something or participate in something. Right. So you have to overcome that. So I walked up and I said, all right, first of all, I want you to turn to the people in front of you, behind you, beside you, your teammates and teammates from other sports, and I want you to thank them for still being here. And they did. So they all turned, they're thanking each other. They came back, and I said, don't lie to me. Do not lie to me. Turn to each other and say, don't lie to him. They all turned to each other and said, don't lie to him. Don't lie to him. I said, how many of you don't want to be here right now? How many of you'd rather be somewhere else? Every single athlete's hand went up. How many speakers let the audience go, I don't want to be here. We think you suck. Okay. So I said, here's the deal. Give me 5 minutes. If you think I suck and this isn't beneficial in 5 minutes, I'll lead you out the door and I'll pay the school back the money they were supposed to pay me.
Wow.
I did some of my best material for 5 minutes. This huge football player, huge. He looked like a walking eclipse. He stood up and he goes, I don't know about everybody else, but the football team's not going anywhere. And the rest of the athletes started clapping. So what I did, I had planned about a half an hour of leadership talk. I did 15 minutes of leadership talk, but I made it count. Then I said, all right, I want you to stand up and I want you to look all over the room. Look at the other stands, right? Every one of you is going to meet each other at least once. And you're not just going to meet, you're going to connect in the next hour. Somebody goes, you're full of crap. I go, want to bet me? Want to bet me? He goes, no, sir. And so I said, everybody, come on down. They came down on the gym floor. I turned the podium around and faced the gym floor. And then through what I do is called building your nation. So if I was doing it for Procter & Gamble, it'd be called building Procter & Gamble Nation, building Boise State. You put your name in the middle. And I start off with lower key activities. I culminate in something that blows the lid off the environment that we're in. And then at the end, they come back up, we debrief, and I congratulate them on taking a giant leap toward becoming the type of person they want to be and the type of leader they want to be.
Well, I know that you one of the things you taught me is like the most important things, engine and caboose. Most important things, right? I mean, not that the middle is not important, but if you can't get in there in like 10 seconds, you've lost them. And if you don't leave something with a bang, you've lost them. Like you have to have those two pieces in any talk. I don't care if it's a staff meeting. I don't care if it's your leadership retreat, you're gonna have a leadership conference, you're gonna have a sales I don't care what it is. Right. If you don't get those two things, and if you're a leader and you can't get up in front of your group and get them in those first few moments, right, and then leave them with something, you've not made an impression. And so when you walk into a room, what would you tell a leader? Like, how do you get them in those first 10 seconds? What are some 2 or 3 things they can do? And then what is the biggest thing they need to do at the end, right? Because you said engine caboose, like these are the things they're going to remember mostly. So what would you tell, what kind of directions, instructions, or whatever would you give to people?
Walk into a room, sit down, make eye contact with everyone and go, glad you're here. How's everybody doing today? And mean it. Not just go, okay, let's get started. How many people walk into a meeting, sit down, throw their agenda or notebook or whatever they're going to hold, that they're going to use or whatever, they throw it down on the table and go, let's get started. People know that they are only in there because they have to be. Even if it's a mandatory meeting, you want people to be in there who want to be there. Mm-hmm. If they can see that you're engaged, if they can see that you appreciate them. And here's the thing they have to come to understand. I really believe this. They have to believe that I would do their jobs if we needed me to do their jobs. They don't work for me. We all work together. And it's helpful if I've held some of those jobs. That's why I see sometimes the transfers of CEOs. Oh, I'm going to go from Coca-Cola to Disney. I'm going to go from Disney to Nissan. I don't know jack about Nissan, but I guess I'm a good leader, so I'm going to lead Nissan. It's helpful when they believe that you appreciate what they do, you're knowledgeable about what they do, and you know about what they do well enough that you know whether or not they're succeeding at what they do. And there's got to be a little humor. Come on, like yesterday I was talking about something called Riz. If you don't know what Riz is, it's something in the world today that people are using with relationships. It's short for charisma. Back in our day, it would be, do you have any game? Do I have any game? Now you want to know if you have charisma. Do I have the looks, or do I speak well enough? Am I funny? And I always tell people, please, 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 if you're not funny, don't take up stand-up comedy now. What did the fish say when it hit the wall? Damn. Okay, no. Okay, don't try to be funny. And I'll share this one thing with you, and then I'll let you go on. But a couple of years ago, I spoke on the USS Rhode Island. It's a nuclear sub. And I was talking to the crew, and I was talking to the Navy SEALs before they were leaving on a covert mission. I wasn't allowed to know the mission, but I came on to talk to them about their relationships on board and then how to keep their relationships pretty fresh. And this Navy SEAL stands up. He's got to be 6'5", 250, built of granite. He was a block of granite. He said, "Sir, with all due respect, if you suck, we're leaving in 90 seconds. I said, "Thank you." I said, "Give me 30, and if I suck, I'll walk out with you." I did 30, 2 minutes. He goes, "Sir, we're going to stay." And then they wouldn't let me leave, but the admiral said, "You're leaving." So, Sherry, why do people hate meetings? Number one, they were told to be there. They had to be there. Number two, they might not be prepared. They don't want to be called on the carpet for something that they're going to be called out for. Mm-hmm. So maybe if as a supervisor, you kind of knew already what was going on before you walked in, you could walk in and share the right tone. Are you going to call people out for a lack of productivity, improper behavior, words that were not supposed to be used, which should probably be done in private? Or are you going to come in and try to inspire your team to a level they weren't sure they were capable of achieving? That to me is a leader.
Right. Well, one of the things you told me early on, and you said, look, you've got to make your talks about the audience, because the audience will never rate themselves poorly.
Oh, you did listen to me. Look at you. Look at you.
Right. And
why you're so popular.
Well, and it's true. I think so many people go up and they start talking about themselves, and you're like, oh my, like, I really don't want to know about you unless it's related to me. Like, if you can make your story related to me, then I'm listening to it. I'm aware of it. I want to be part of it. And I do believe that a lot of people miss this. They have to understand that when you're speaking, it has to be relatable to your people, and it has to be about them. If it's about them, like, and I don't mean in a negative, but like, you did this, you did that. I mean, it's about them in such a way that they feel connected to you, that they're reflecting, they're getting aha moments, they're engaged, whatever that is, then they're always going to love you. And I think this is true of the leader, that too many leaders go in and they make it like all about them. What are our goals? What are our KPIs? What is the da. And everybody's like, So what makes it, what are the things?
Sure, let me share something here. Let me share this. I had a big meeting on my shirt. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it says The Unforgettables. And I'm one of the people in charge of this foundation. I help run a major golf tournament that raises money. And we help bury children for families who lose a child 0 to 17.11, and they don't have the money to give their child a proper burial. So the things we do, and I'll never forget, we sat down at the golf course, a major PGA Tour golf course that was going to allow us to have our tournament there. And one of the other people in the room that was on the board at the time sat down and said, the first thing they said was, "Now we're going to need 4 to 6 free rounds so that we can get out here and play and see if this is the type of course we want to be at." You're basically holding hostage and threatening the course that wants to allow you to have your major event at their. I think I stopped breathing and gave myself CPR, and I quickly diverted the conversation to something else. But let me share 2 more quick things about speaking. Number one, we all know this: be sincere, be brief, be done. One of the best things a person leading a meeting can do, I don't care whatever it is, give people 10 minutes of their life back. If your meeting was supposed to go from 11 to noon and you go, you know what, it's 11:50, I'm done. Anybody else have anything to say? Enjoy these 10 minutes and have a great rest of your day. People will dance out of that meeting going, they get it. That was really cool. Because what do most people do, Sherry? They will fill those 10 minutes, because if they don't fill those 10 minutes, they're going to think that someone's going to think that they're not valuable, that they're not being responsible. It says, come on, give people 10 minutes of their life back. Yeah. So number one, if there's a drop the mic moment, use it. And number two, when you can, reward someone who says or involves himself in your show. For someone's asked me first time in my entire career, 5,200 shows, this young lady in the front row said, I give them a chance to ask me questions twice. I call them 5-minute frenzies. They can ask me anything they want for 5 minutes. And she said, David, what are your deal breakers in a relationship? What are yours? And I said, number one, I could never date or be with a person who lies. And number two, I could never be with someone who disrespects service personnel and does so in public. Someone's waiting on our table. Someone's handling our luggage. Someone's doing something. And this person treats them horribly. Because if they're going to treat someone horribly in public, I can't imagine what it would be like in private.
Wow. There's so much stuff that I remember you and I talking about all that time ago. And, I did listen to you, David. I did listen to you.
No, you didn't listen to me. You've surpassed anything I've ever done in my career. And I'm going to give the audience a really good lesson here. I can never be the speaker you are, and I will probably never reach the level of excellence that you have because I don't have the same backstory. I wasn't an Olympian. I didn't win a national championship. I didn't have my Olympic coach. I'm going to let people read your books, but cause pretty much mental, physical, emotional, spiritual harm in your life. I don't have a story like that. I had a wonderful upbringing. I had great friends. I just found a topic that I thought people needed to know about, and I've done my best to share relationship, leadership, team building, better public speaking, customer service. But nothing happened to me in my life that said, David, become a speaker, except for this. I wanted to be a veterinarian. I took organic chemistry, and now I'm a speaker.
For those of you who've taken organic chemistry, you know why.
Organic, I was the first one done with my midterm. I took it up, and the teacher goes, "Are you done?" I said, "In more ways than one, sir." And I handed my midterm, and I was no longer pre-vet. But you know what I learned there? You follow the path that you should.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So you're an expert on so many things, but you were really like, the dating part. The relationship part.
Well, I'm known as the dating doctor. I own the trademark
Right. The dating doctor, right? So people come to you. But here's the thing about relationships. We know this. The business is about relationships, and relationships is about the business. Like there is no business without relationships. And why do people forget this? Like David, so many people get into businesses and they make it about things other than the people, whether it's the people of the clients or the people that are working with them. They forget this. And so you've done so much work on relationships. How would you help people remember that this is truly about relationships? Everything without your speaking engagements are about relationships. Your coaching engagements that you do are about relationships. People know that. I think that's why they're so attracted to you personally, is that they feel immediately connected. I mean, you have such a great way of doing that. What would you tell people in business, leaders in business, about building relationship or keeping relationships or remembering that relationships are the reason they're there in the first place?
100%. Sherry, would I be on this podcast with you today if we didn't have a remarkable relationship? No way. And Sherry, when's the last time, this would be good for the audience to know, when's the last time we looked into each other's eyes live? Till today.
Man, it's been years.
It's been years. One of the last times I was out there, you were kind enough. You have an incredibly beautiful home with an Airbnb built right into it, and you allowed me to stay there. And I think we went to a Super Bowl party, and I remember this. I remember a bunch of people and all this sitting in a jacuzzi. It's snowing. I'm in Montana going, are you freaking kidding me? It was great. So let me share this, and I think that this crosses all genres. It's for leaders. I don't really care the relationship, especially business to their clients. But there's 5 characteristics I believe are in every healthy relationship between two entities. And it's the word TRIPC, TRIPC, trust. Trust is the confidence to believe that a person's words and actions will be what they say they will be. So if you tell me something's going to get done, I won't even think about it again. Not only will it get done, it'll get done 5 days before, and you're going to text me and go, hey, it's done. They're going to be calling you. I'm pretty much the same way with you. So can you trust that person? The R is pretty simple. Is there mutual respect? Do you believe they respect you? Or are they just interacting with you because you're potential income for them? They have to have a relationship with you. The I, interesting enough, stands for intimacy. Now, this isn't the intimacy that people are thinking about romantically. This is an intimate podcast. There's not 10 of us on here. There's not 15 screens full. There's not people trying to talk over each other. We're having an intimate conversation about things we both love and believe in to help your audience. And anybody who listens to it, the P stands for passion. Do you have passion for what you do? Do you have passion for the people that you work with? Do you want the best for them? And the C stands for commitment, unwavering, unconditional. So do you trust each other? Is there respect? Is there an intimate contact? Is there an intimate connection? Are you passionate about what you're doing? And are you committed to it? If that other person has those 5 characteristics, I'm all in. If they don't, especially a lack of respect, okay, and trust. Imagine if we didn't trust each other and the other one was out saying horrible, nasty things about the other, and we come back and, hey, did you say? No, of course not. I would never do that. Never. you're never going to totally trust that person again? No. So when people working for someone hear that a boss said this type of a decision was made without consulting them, without input, without camaraderie within a team, when it can be allowed, sometimes decisions have to be made. I get that. I'm not stupid. I do it too. But when you can, people support what they help create.
A lot of people will look at you and they would think, oh my gosh, he's just lived this like incredible life. Everything's lined up for him. Everything's been perfect for him. He's Speaker of the Year 14 times. You don't have any hard time getting gigs. People are like, oh my gosh, we want to have David, please bring all this stuff. And they'll go, it was just easy. Like you haven't had any big challenges. So, and this is true of like when people idolize somebody else. Like if I didn't know you personally, I'd be like, man, it's just been so easy for David. He just, right. People just love him. They want him back. He's got all these accolades. And it's not just you have the accolades. You deserve every accolade you've ever gotten. Let's just say that, right, like you deserve it. But how, tell people you're going to have a challenge. It's human nature for us to have challenges. So let them know maybe a small challenge or a bigger challenge, whichever one is that you want to share with them. And how did you get through that? Because I think so many people just look at you and they think it's just too easy. And he wouldn't ever understand how hard it is for me. So share just a small or big, whichever one you want to share. Just share something that you had to go through and how you were able to, recover from that and move forward.
Might be the best question I've ever been asked on anything I've ever been on. Thank you. It's really a remarkable question. Well, I know we talked before the show began, I know you're writing a book on resilience, and the definition of resilience I simply use is how you react when something is in front of you that seems insurmountable. When something has stepped in front of you that's an obstacle, maybe has completely thrown you off balance. I don't know about you, but there was no class in grad school called before the pandemic, during the pandemic, and after the pandemic. So what we all have to do, we did the pivot, we did those types of things. Has it been easy? No. The number one thing every person who's on this podcast who's ever thought about becoming a speaker, you're only as good as your last show. I can have 18-time this, 3-time entertainer of the year, blah, freaking blah. If I suck tomorrow, my future clients will hear about it, and will they or won't they book me? Mm-hmm. That's why I treat every single event like it's my first and most important ever, and I try to act like no one in that audience has ever heard me. Number two, as you know, I went through a period of time where I was stalked. It was very, very difficult. When you put yourself in the public eye, things can happen. Mm-hmm. And so at the time it became so bad, it was so intense that I actually thought about leaving the planet. Now, I didn't leave the planet. Not many people know me. This was years and years ago. So believe me, I'm nowhere near that now. And the only reason that I didn't leave the planet is because my children had gone to visit their mother in New York, and I had our dogs. And had I done that, our dogs would have died. No way I could do that to our beautiful animals. And I know how you are with your animals. They live a better life than most humans. Okay, I know how you are with your dogs. And I came back from that and then realized, no, I've got a lot of unfinished business here on the planet. Mm-hmm. And so now when people come up after a show, and every single show they do, and they talk about a toxic relationship, they're about to go through a breakup, they've gone through a breakup. One of my audience members last week, I won't name the school, nice young man, just handsome brunette, sweet as can be, tall, just the kindest young man, came up and he had tears in his eyes. And he said, can we talk privately? And we did. And he found out that one of his parents was cheating on the other because text messages weren't there where they weren't supposed to go, and needed my guidance. And I can now help people. I've had people come up and say I'm being stalked. I've had people come up and tell me they're in these horrible toxic relationships. And I think God knew that if I didn't go through one, how would I know how to help those people? I could guess, but now I know. And that's why if you're running a business, if you're a leader and you know there's a problem in your organization, instead of pointing fingers at the people involved in the problem, find out why the problem exists. It's probably not the people. There's a situation or an environmental issue that needs to be addressed.
Absolutely. I remember because I was around you during that time that you're talking about, and it was devastating. It was devastating to your business, the people that knew you that all of a sudden were like not knowing you, and you're like, wait, I'm the same guy that you've always known. And it was so hard. And what a wonderful thing to be able to say now, I came through this. Not only did I survive, and I mean, I went beyond the survival, because now I'm in this position that I know that a relationship can go south. And I know what happens, so that when somebody comes to me, I can have the right words for that individual. What a beautiful thing. And we forget that, because when we're in the middle of something that's horrible, like we think it's horrible, we're going to name it horrible, we're going to name it terrible, traumatic, all the adjectives we put in front of it, we cannot know at that moment how that very event will either be the door that opens for us or the door that allows us to be that better human being. We just don't know. So the last question here, Dave, I mean, first of all,
Can I say something before you come back to your last question?
Sure.
Denzel Washington says, when you're at the peak, and it might not be his quote, but that's who I heard say it. When you're at your peak is when the devil comes for you. When all that happened to me, what I had just won, maybe 14th time, maybe I was just Entertainer of the Year. I had just done a TED Talk, which got a great response. And then all this happened. And you know what? It needed to happen. It humbled me. It changed me. I've been a better speaker, a better friend, a better father, a better man. I've just been the person I'm supposed to be, because, and it's advice I would give you right now. You're at the top of your fame. You're writing books left and right. I know you're one of the best speakers on the planet. Just take those dogs hiking every day and remember that there's about 6 billion people somewhere else on the planet that don't care.
True that. So if there's a question I haven't asked you, or if there's something that you want to leave the audience with, what would be that piece of advice or the thing that you would like to most share right now?
Today's the day to take the first step toward what you've been putting off. There's thoughts in people's heads right now. And if it means you want to become a speaker, I actually have a couple spots. And there's been about 25 or 30 since you, Sherry. And I would say 80% of those people are earning more than me now. People I've coached. I mean, look at Judson Likely, The Evolution of Dance, and was one of the first people who advised him on some of that stuff. And Curtis Zimmerman, one of the best speakers in the world, and just all those people. Today's the day. And you don't become a world-class speaker because someone coaches you. You have to get out there. You've got to make some mistakes. I'd suggest making your mistakes for free or for cheaper. Okay. Okay. How much is Sherry getting? 25 grand. Okay. I'll take 20. Sure you will. Okay. When you get the response, when you have the incredible respect that she has on stage, and you can answer, and this is what I think makes me different than any other speaker on the planet. I really believe this. I never do the same talk twice, ever. Never. I never do back-to-back talks of any type. Even if I've done that relationship talk 500 times, I change it 20% every show. Why? For me and for my audiences. And number two, minimally twice during every event I am in front of, I give them at least 5 or 10 minutes of my time to ask me anything they want. Most people won't do that, because what if they can't answer the question? What if it's embarrassing? What if it's this? If you're not an expert enough on your topic to allow the audience to ask you candidly what they want to know, do something else for a living.
So folks, I want David to tell you how that you can reach him. And I just want to plug this, because I'm not telling a story. I've listened to thousands of people speak, and whether they were just, at an athletic event, or whether they were, a paid speaker, there's nobody ever that's going to be better than David Coleman. So if you're having an event, whether it's a sales event and you want to kick off a sales conference, if you're you want a leadership retreat, and this is the same thing that I do, I'm just going to tell you, he's fantastic. You'll never fear is my audience going to be? No, there's never even a thought of that in your head. So David, tell them how they can reach you, so that there's people out there listening to you right now, and they're like, just like me, I'm like, oh, I need to hire David. I can't. I don't know the business to hire David. But there's people out there right now after listening to you, they're like, oh, I need this guy. Tell them how to find you.
I'll give you a couple easiest ways. Let me use the easiest email to remember in case someone's driving and can't write or anything. Use The Dating Doctor, the word dating, the word doctor at mac.com, like a Mac computer, mac.com. So The Dating Doctor at mac.com. And my personal number, I give my personal number out to the world. And in all these years, I've only had 2 prank calls, 2, even though it's my personal number. It's 513 area code, which is lovely Cincinnati, home of the Joe Burrow-less Bengals. 513-403-7399. 513-403-7399. It would be an honor to coach you. I'm not the cheapest coach in the world, but as you can see by the person who's hosting me, I believe I get decent results, and it would be my honor to speak at one of your next events.
Oh man, David, I knew that when you said yes, I was like, this is going to be the best. I just knew it, and you have not disappointed. So folks, please share this podcast to all your friends, to your family, aunts and uncles, leaders, team members, share. And until next time, have a winning day. Bye now.